Hey, what's up? It's Talameshia, and I just jumped off the porch with Dirty Glove Bastard.
Eat down, eat down, eat down. Fuck it up, fuck it up.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. We right back at it, y'all. We got Talameshia jumping off the porch with us today. What's up, sis?
What's up? Thanks for
Hi,
having
everything's
me.
good this way. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
ATL weather.
Hey, this bipolar weather, I don't know. I mean, the hurricane, what is it? Hurricane Helena?
Yeah.
Got the power off.
It's okay. We got John in Houston.
Hey, yeah, they going crazy. They competing.
Yeah, they are. Houston is winning probably.
You say what now?
Houston probably gonna win.
Yeah,
we
nah,
flood
for
quick.
sure, for sure. all that water coming from that Gulf. So. But welcome to Atlanta. Welcome to Off the Porch. Appreciate you coming to rock with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so, we were joking about, the Houston weather, Atlanta weather. Talk to us about Houston. Like, what part of Houston are you from?
I'm from the north side.
Okay.
Guns Point is what they call it, but
Okay.
it's Greens Point if you're not from there.
Yeah.
But it's AKA Guns Point. That's where I'm from. Born on the north side. My mama did not make it to the hospital. She had me in apartments right next to the Greens Point Mall. So
Okay.
I'm really from the north.
Oh,
so,
yeah, for sure.
Big Houston. But I lived all over Houston, Texas.
Word. And people from Houston, have, and I feel like, people from Texas have so much pride just from being from Texas.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of your favorite, things about being from Houston and being from Texas overall?
Screw. DJ Screw. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
DJ
for
Screw,
sure.
Pimp C, Bun B, Destiny's Child. I'm gonna definitely tap into the music aspect because I'm a musician.
Absolutely.
So definitely the music and what it has done to the music industry, honestly. And then of course the food.
Oh, yeah.
You can't knock the food, the nightlife. Definitely the food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I feel like next to New Orleans, like Houston is probably my other favorite, place when it comes to food.
Yeah, you're right. New Orleans. New
Oh, yeah.
Orleans. Definitely got to go there for their food.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Houston is so rich in music culture, hip hop culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And has influenced music from so many different genres. How would you say it's influenced you and your music and what you're doing?
A lot. So I grew up listening to Zero, Big Mo, and that's because I'm not only a singer, but I also like to tap into the culture of Houston and the dialect, like the way we talk, the slang, and even just having the slowed out tracks and being able to bang it in your car and have it chopped and screwed. And I think that's the part that kind of impacted me as an artist.
Yeah.
And then of course coming from the city of Destiny's Child, having great vocalists, harmonies, big voices alone. So I think that kind of added the grit to me coming up as a child. What else? And then we gotta have the ratchet, we gotta twerk, we gotta be lit. And then I'm tall, so I feel like with Megan Thee Stallion, being from Houston, Texas as well, I'm 5'10", and I just think, a lot of people say, y'all tall, y'all thick, y'all got deep voice, y'all deep voice women, and the way we talk, very country, but I think that kind of all goes into my artistry and my music. But really, the nightlife, the music I put out is just really being around my city, being outside in my city and seeing the type of people that's coming into my city and leaving the city, and then just the people who have a good time there. It's all about the energy.
Absolutely.
So that's the energy I put into my music, is my city.
Because Houston is now one of those places that a lot of people, are moving to. Atlanta is, and I would say was that for a point in time, but I feel like more people are starting to, tap into Houston and really understanding that there's a lot of culture there and a lot of money there, from jobs and just opportunities and things like that, and a lot of freedom too. Yeah, for sure.
I think it kind of really got thick when COVID was happening.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't listen to no rules. We didn't do anything. We just said, all right, throw some sections in there and call it a restaurant, and it's still gonna be a club. So that was kind of, I think, when I started seeing people kind of really move to Houston heavy, and that was a lot of the reason people really said it. And then of course, you have big names that bring the attention to the city as well, like 50 Cent, you know, Drake.
For sure.
So I think that kind of turned us up a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think the city itself is keeping it lit because
Yeah.
we always outside.
Yeah,
we always
no,
outside.
For sure. and you know, you mentioned the pandemic, and it's crazy to think that we're like 2.5 years removed from it. 4.5 years from, you know, when it started and everything. Do you feel like life has kind of gotten back to normal since then?
No, because Walmart is not 24 hours.
I was just saying the same thing.
No, Walmart is not 24 hours. So until that happens, we are fucked.
That is so funny. I literally was just complaining about the same thing. Like, man, this
you
been
appreciate
messed
it when they take it away from you.
Yeah,
You're like,
for
dang,
sure.
Walmart was clutch.
Because I kind of stopped going to Walmart and was more going to Target.
Yep.
But would hit Walmart on a late night when
Yep.
need be. But then when they stopped it, you think I went there every week the way I was complaining about it.
So it's So they need to bring it back.
Yeah. So what was life like for you growing up in Houston on the north side?
It was fun. I moved around a lot growing up, but I finished my 4 years of high school on the north side, which was something I was really big on, of course for credits, of course. But it was fun. I was in a lot. I was an active girl. I was in honors choir, honors theater arts. I was step master of the step team. So as far as performance and like creativity, I was already building my craft growing up. So that was kind of my focus. And I was pretty popular for it because I was known as a girl who would be in the hallway skipping class, singing. Like, why are you skipping the singing in the hallway? I don't know. But that was me. And it's people to this day that still hit me up and be like, I remember you were singing in the hallways. And I'll be like, oh, yep, that's me. And I've always had big hair, so they still like, that's you.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I had it easy. I made friends easy, still do to this day. I think it kind of helped with my style too. Like I knew what worked for me. I was like, I know at the end of the day, I stand out. People might say something like, oh, why your hair big or this and that and that, but at the end of the day, when I walk somewhere, I go somewhere, they recognize me. So I was already starting branding, knowing that my image was key. And then honestly, just my personality. Like I made sure I didn't lose that because I was always the cool girl in school. Like I hung with everybody. Everybody was always welcome to be around me as long as it was positive and not no drama. And I stayed out of trouble because I knew what I wanted to do. And I could have got into trouble, but I didn't because I was also on basketball team. So I was like, all right, I don't want to mess up everything that I'm doing, you know, so.
Oh, you was a hooper in school?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a hooper. And then I let it go so that I could be step master because I liked performing more. I liked being on stage and having an audience and putting together shows and outfits. So I was like, well, sorry, basketball. It was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
On to the performing arts.
On to the performing arts, something that I know I'm gonna do. I've been singing since I was little, so I was like, that's it. I can't do nothing else.
At what point would you say you jumped off the porch? Like when did you embrace your independence?
I like that. At what point did I jump off the porch? I was in a girl group. I was signed to Matthew Knows, and I was the only singer in the group. It was a singer and 2 rappers. And we was already a girl group that stumbled upon him at a showcase in Houston, and he signed us. And I think that kind of built up me knowing who I wanted to be individually. Honestly, all of us. And so we were so young, you know, we was like, well, all right, I think we should figure out who we are. You know, like who are we as individuals? So I definitely was the first one. I don't know if it's the Aries in me, but I was like, yeah, I gotta get control of who I am and who I'm gonna be so that nobody can come in and steer me, you know, a different direction and then I regret it. And I'm the type of person, I like to try it on my own because at the end of the day, I wanna blame me if I fail. I don't wanna be mad at you because I trusted you with my life, my dream, my career. So that was when I decided. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go solo and I'm gonna work on me as an artist and as a vocalist and the type of lane and image I wanna put out, which was me. And I feel like nobody can, you know, taint that, especially being an independent artist. So, like right now, I record myself in my own studio, like at home. So I like that freedom.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I realized, like, all right, I'm officially off the porch and I'm out here running it on my own.
Right.
You know, I got on the plane to Atlanta by myself. I was like, okay, and I have anxiety with that. Like, I skydive, I do all that. I'm not scared of heights. I'm a daredevil, but just staying on the plane, that kind of gets me.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, I did it, and I'm here. And
Because you're more into the rush, but
yes, the rush.
but-
Don't leave me up here with
Yeah.
somebody driving my life, like flying my life right now. So then a little turbulence, it'll bother me. But I'd be like, all right, yeah. But yeah, that's when I jumped off the porch.
Right. And can you speak to some of the lessons that were that you learned early on from being signed to Matthew Knowles?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that early in your career, knowing, you know, the lineage of, you know, Destiny's Child and all that, like you just think we made it.
Yeah,
you know what
that
I mean?
is
It's
definitely
automatic.
true. Especially
So-
when you're like a senior in high school and you're like, oh, I just know that that's the right way to go. We're in a girl group. The only person who could help us out of Houston, Texas would be the GOAT who created the GOATs, you know what I mean, who helped
Right.
the GOATs break it. So it was like, it seemed right, and I don't regret any of the process. I think it was all artist development, which I think a lot of artists do need to, you know, pay attention to. And even if you didn't sign up completely for artist development, the lessons along the way can be your artist development. And I think we got a lot of lessons out of that as a girl group, a young one at that, not knowing the ropes. And it was very, a lot of it was a lot of comparisons. So you got that. And I think we didn't take that into account. Because even though we was a girl group before him, we didn't think about, all right, well, when he introduces us, it's gonna look like he put us together. He made us. He went and found a girl that somewhat gets compared to maybe Beyonce's or the Kellys, and you know, and then he found two rappers. One sounds like somewhat MC-like, and the other one sounds like Left Eye. So it's like, it looked, you know, put together by him, and so we didn't think about that. And then we think about the feedback. And we did get some great feedback, but then we also had the negative feedback, of course. And I think as girls with emotions and hormones, and it was on our chest. It was getting to us. And so
sure.
it was like, all right, we need a fair shot. So it was definitely a lesson and a process. We did a lot. We toured. We opened up for 7th Streeter on her tour.
Yeah.
We got to do iHeart performance. So it's crazy because circling around, people are recognizing me because I still look
from
the
that.
same. Yeah, you know, because I was big on that. I was like, at the end of the day, I'm not going to change because that's still a part of my story, you know what I mean? And I'm really big on longevity. Like the artists I look up to, like the Michael Jacksons, Beyonce, they have years behind them. Even Victoria Monet,
For
you know,
sure,
saying like,
for
you know, it'll
sure.
take you 13 years probably. And
They
I'm like,
say it
oh, I hope
take 10
so.
years
They
to
say
make
it
an
take 10
overnight
years,
success.
yes. And so I'm like, well, shoot, I have been doing this since high school, so it just builds up. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a great lesson, and I got to meet great people along the way, and I get to see, you know, the growth at the end of the day.
I mean, hindsight is 20/20. So when we're going through it, you never see it right then and
Yeah.
there. You know, we hope that we, you know, have faith to keep us on the path so that then when we have that hindsight, we can look and say, aha, okay, I knew that me staying on the path was the right, you know, was the right thing. But it's like all the experiences are so important. And I'm sure that now when you look back on them, like you wouldn't trade any of them for anything because now you're so much more ready for everything that's coming to you.
Yeah, that's true. It all plays, you know, pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's always hard to, you know, see it like that.
True,
during the-
especially when you're trying to, you hoping for like an overnight success and you're watching people get quick overnight success, or what you would think is overnight success.
Right. At what point did you really like take recording music seriously?
Recording, I would say 2021.
Okay.
And it was when I met BeatKing,
Okay.
Club God. Shout out to him, rest in peace.
Long live him.
He taught me to record myself because he was like, you know, you're a singer and you're gonna automatically have it hard because you really sing, you care about singing. And I like harmonies, I like stacks, I like, you know what I mean? Because I like to implement everything that I've learned from artists. So, and then I'm not much of a writer, I'm more of like a freestyle. So I like the freedom of being able to get on the mic right then and there and lay it down, and if I want to change it. So he taught me, and he was like, first of all, as an independent artist, you'll save money because studio time costs a lot. And then he was like, and then you can just, it's nothing like being able to have that freedom and to get up out your bed and to say, all right, I got on my pajamas, but I thought of this and I want to lay this down right away.
Right.
So when I learned that, which surprisingly took me a day, but I think I was so interested, that's why it was quick. I've just been stuck doing it. I started doing covers first. Because I was like, all right, the first thing I could do is I could just test my mix, because I actually cared about mixing my levels, my harmonies, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it as covers, and I started doing that and dropping that, and people was responding to that very well. And then I was like, all right, I think I can record my own music. And then I started doing that, and I haven't stopped ever since. I was in a studio session last night with DJ Outer Space, shout out to him.
Oh, okay, word. Yeah.
And I told him, I said, this is odd, because I've been recording myself. I ain't been in a real, studio with an engineer in a minute and on somebody else's time.
Yeah.
So it was like, I was like, well, we popped that cherry. Sorry, I got a dark sense of humor. but
I bet that's interesting because like you're so used to just your tendencies and different things like that I bet it's even awkward like telling the engineer to stop and start it back.
Yes, or to tell them how to move when you want to just sit there and hit the key or hit the, and I was like, I can't do that.
You're like, let me see the mouse, let me click
But he made it very comfortable. He was like, no, you tell them, this your session, tell them what you need, tell them what you want to do. And I just be feeling like, I don't want to be on, I be trying to be on people, appreciative of people's time.
Yeah, for sure.
But knowing me, I'll take my time.
No, for sure. And you and BeatKing have had like a bunch of really like really dope songs that have, that have gotten out there. I mean, the song Heat.
Oh yeah, Heat. And then we have Just Like That.
Yep, Just Like That. Yeah.
We had fun. It was really just being able to create.
Yeah. Do
something that we both love and do it out of fun and no pressure.
Right. And now you have a new EP that just released, Tea Time.
Yes.
And what was the process like of actually putting that project together?
Oh, Tea Time. It was quick. I'm not gonna lie. So Tea Time was really quick. So my manager Troy Marshall, shout out to him. He was like, all right, it's time. He was like, okay, I think we need a project. We need an EP. Or we need some R&B, because a lot of my music that I have been putting out have been like club records, because I'm an energy person, which is why my hair is big. It's my energy source, and I'm bouncy and spunky, and I like to dance. If you look at any of my videos, my performances, I'm really big on dancing. And so I was like, I want club music. I want to be the singer at the party, the singer in the club, you know what I mean, with the energy. And so he was like, let's make something that's people want to really, because they listen to my covers and they hear that I can really go like as a vocalist. So I was like, all right, let me put some stuff out there. And it started with a trip to LA, and I work with Eric Bellinger, shout out to him, amazing artist, amazing writer,
super
amazing person. And got to record with him. He wrote a song and we recorded in the studio session in LA, and it's really good. It's the first song on the project. And it was my first time having somebody write for me, so I was like, okay. Right. And it just felt perfect. So I was like, it set the tone, it set the energy, and I felt like he like kind of pulled out the vibe I am. Yeah. And so I was like, all right. I took that inspo and I was like, I went back, and in like 8 days, I created 8 songs, not gonna lie. I locked in my room. I had already had beats I was sitting on from one of my producers. Shout out to T-Ray in Houston, Texas. He's amazing. He creates anything. He created my country track that's called Lose Your Cool. So he's very diverse as a producer, and I'm really big on that because I make music. I make all kind of music. And so BeatKing, he was like, all right, I'm gonna give you a club, that stuff that's gonna work in a club though. He said, T-Ray will give you your singing, your pop, R&B, whatever, all that, but I'm gonna give you that ratchet edge. Yeah. So he produced 2 tracks on there, and they were spot on to like the club records. One was a slower riding Houston feel song. It's called Pretty Screwed Up, which makes sense.
One of my favorite songs on the
project.
Thank you,
yes. And that's about, being a pretty screwed up person, like saying I'm pretty fucked up. That's really what they're saying. Yeah. But the screw, Houston, Texas.
And you paying homage to the culture.
To the culture. And then, also pretty. I was like, people look at me and they think that life was easy, and it's not. Like, I have a hell of a story and been through, still going through shit.
Absolutely.
And so I was like, that's my rider. And then Eat Down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the current single, right?
Yes, that's the current single that I'm pushing, produced by BeatKing. And we came up with that. We was just walking through the neighborhood. And he was like, you need another, like, Twerk on Everybody. Like, how you came up with that, you need another one like that. And I was like, all right. So I was walking, and then I was like, what do people say? What's the new slay? Because I'm all about, of course, in my music, I do put some empowerment in there, especially for the girls. And I was like, what do they say? They say, eat down, like, you better eat down. And I was like, all right, let me get my girls, my Talibans to come scream, fuck it up, eat down. I was like, that's gonna be the one. And I turned around and I told him that, and he was like, damn. He was like, can I have that? Like, he really wanted the song.
Yeah.
So he was like, it's okay, I'm gonna just record me a verse and save it for the remix. And so recorded that song, and then I filled in the project with, an R&B slow track called Text Threads. And then I put in some TikTok bops just to kind of give the little, fun. And then I put in some hard hitting clubs. And then of course I went to the Screw vibe, Houston. And so I felt like I gave 8 songs of the vibe I was in at that moment, the mood I was in when I came back from LA.
Okay.
And I just felt like it was my time, it is my time. And so I was like, I'm gonna name it Tea Time, because I feel like everyone's telling me, it's your time now. Like, a lot of people have been lifting me up and inspiring, motivating me. So I was like, all right, tea time. And I was like, all right, I'll work with that. It's Talameshia time, it's tea time. And it just kind of created the artwork and was quick, honestly. Got the project mixed and mastered. And Troy was like, I love it, let's go.
Yeah.
And so dropped that, and then the next week, Club God dropped his. And we were gonna do our club run, promo run together. And then God intervened. And when he does, you can't do nothing, but, and so that happened. And then it was like, all right, I can either sit and let this end everything that I've put into, my career, all the investment, all the time and money he put into me, the belief and everything. I could just stop and just, you know what I mean? But then I was like, no, because me and him talked many a times about life and death, because I just feel like that's important in the household.
For sure.
And he did too, and he was strictly like, man, something ever happened, you keep going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here no more, and it's not gonna bring me back. So don't waste my money.
Right. Yeah.
He's a money guy. He's like, don't waste the investment, don't waste the connections, make it work, never fall off. And that's his label, and that's what, he was big on. So I was like, all right, that's true.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, it's helping me heal. It's helping me keep going, because I feel like I'm not grieving alone.
Yeah.
And I'm also feeling closer and connected through him energy-wise. So I was like, all right, tea time it is. And that's what I'm doing now, continuing. I started in Houston, I did a DJ run. And that's a big thing in Houston, or just period, especially for a female artist independently, and a singer at that. There's not a lot of singers that are building the relationships with DJs. And that was something he was big on. He only had to tell me once. And we did it together one time for Twerk on Everybody, and that was it. I was like, I love it. I love going. First of all, I'm not much of the girl who likes to stay in the club too long, especially if it ain't a dance floor, because I like to dance. So I'm that person. So if we can go to a club for 10, 15 minutes just to show the actual DJ love, and not for like a look for me, I'm cool with that, because I'm very supportive. And so we go into the DJs when it's their slow night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
BeatKing was like huge
Yes,
with supporting the DJs.
Very big on the DJs being, and they are the key. And it's like, I see it, and just having this connection and relationship with them, they've been reaching out, they've been talking to me, they've been uplifting me, and I see why that's so important. And it's not even about what you can get from them. It's just seeing that they are the key to it.
Yeah, they're the gateway.
They are the gateway.
To people.
Going in there, you know what I mean? You never know who's in the building when they're DJing, and if you have that relationship with them and they feel like you've been supporting them and they support you, shoot, Drake can be in there and they drop your song and there's a video clip that goes with your song playing with Drake turning up.
Right.
And that just turns your song up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to all the DJs, like female, men, all of them. I go to all of them. When I was pushing my country record, I got to meet a lot of country DJs, and I didn't know, I was really scared in that market in Houston, Texas, but they were very, very open arms, like welcome me with open arms. So
you've been very open with change. in some situations, forcibly so, you know, and having to adapt in situations, but then also just being open-minded. And I noticed that, you know, when listening to the EP, you know, with the country, you know, theme song, Lose Your Cool, or with the ballad, you know, Text Threads, like you were, you know, willing to go into like these different spaces. Can you speak to just how and why you've been able to, you know, step out, how and why you've been able to comfortably step outside of your comfort zone?
I like that. That's a good one. I think it has to do with, I'm gonna give that credit for sure to my mom and her side of the family, my aunts, my uncles. Growing up, they listened to everybody. I'm talking, they're harmonizing and singing Journey. I'm learning Faithfully and Don't Stop Believing, and then I'm over here learning Shania Twain, and then I'm over here learning Michael Jackson, and then the DeBarge, you know what I mean? And as a kid, you're like, this is old people music. But then you get older, you start to appreciate it, of course, and realize why you're so diverse and why you listen to so much music. Because I, as a person, my playlist is very diverse. I listen to everybody. Like, I'm a huge fan of Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift. Then I want to collab with Imagine Dragons, you know what I mean? And then I want to work with, you know, Carrie Underwood. Like, it's so many different lanes, and I think that come from just the artists I look up to, honestly. I look up to Michael Jackson. I've seen him tap into every lane. I've seen him collaborate with other people in other genres. I've seen Beyonce do it. I've seen Mariah Carey, Whitney do it. So it's like, it's a thing that I just feel like if you see where you want to be as an artist, I think that kind of opens your mind up. And I love all music. So I took the freedom seriously. I was like, I am an independent artist. And I know a lot of people like to say, oh, sound one way. Stick to this one sound and give me a project that has this sound consistently through it. And that's cool. You know what I mean? If you have to do that, or if it's working for you, do it. But I feel like I'm an independent artist and I don't have anything pressing me to do one sound. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna do it all because this is what I feel naturally. When I made the country record, I was going to Whiskey River, which is in Houston, Texas, a country club. And it has a big dance floor and it's diverse and everyone's in there and they're dancing and they're playing all kind of music. They're playing Sexy Red, they're playing Walk It Out, and then they're doing line dancing. So it's like, I like that energy and that vibe because I was like, that's how my concert would probably go. It would be for everybody. And that's the music I decided. But that was the type of music I knew that I wanted to make. I was like, well, if I think of it and I love this music and I listen to it, why can't I put it out there? Why can't I create it? Now I know people say you don't have to always put it out, but I was like, I'm gonna put it out.
But music is, you know, for a lot of us, the soundtrack to our lives. So, you know, you got certain songs that you iron your clothes to. You got certain songs that you clean in the house to. You got certain music that you turn up to before you go to the club. So I feel like, you know, the diversity, you know, is definitely important and really dope when you're actually, when you're able to connect with an artist who can give you all of those, you know, different feels and different sounds and take you to, you know, these different places.
And that's the point. That's all of it. Like, people say they want you to be you and be real and authentic. That's my authentic self. You're gonna get all the different moods, the different vibes. You might get something that'll make you cry. I haven't tapped into that lane yet, and I know that that's coming.
For sure.
And it's low-key expected.
Right.
But it's like, I'm not ready to make a song that's going to remind me of me grieving just yet. You know, I want the happy music right now because that's my memories. And so I was like, I'll wait. I feel like it'll come though. This is definitely bringing it. And so
I mean, it's gonna come naturally, and it's just.
But I think it'll be done right. It'll be able to take people through the stage of the hurt, and then how you get through the hurt, and then the flowers that bloom from the hurt. That's what I would want. I wouldn't want you just to stay sad. I would want you, when you cry and you sad, your tears turn into a smile later at the end of the song. So that's what I'm thinking more so creatively.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. Something to be able to help people to get through it, but then know that there is a way to like have a positive
to live,
mindset,
you know what I mean?
with the grief.
Yes, because I feel like, you know, with all of this happening, a lot of people, I think, expect me to they expect to see how I was behind closed doors.
Right.
But I dealt with me behind closed doors before I brought me to in front of people. But I also know that, because at first I wasn't going to address any of it. I was never going to say nothing. I was just going to be like, all right, I'm just going to flow through it as if it never happened. It never existed. But I was like, I can't do that because, again, if I'm an artist and I knew when I was a little girl and I found out Michael Jackson died, I wanted to know how Janet was doing.
Right.
You know, I was waiting on
For
them
sure.
to speak at the funeral, like, give me something. Even though they don't have to.
Right.
But I was like, as an artist, you put yourself out there for that. You're not grieving someone alone. You're sharing that. And it kind of helps the people, too, with you. So I was like, it'll get me through it. So I was like, yeah, I understand. I mean, I don't know how I got to that part of the conversation, but yeah.
No, it's fine. And you and BeatKing had a public relationship, and so and didn't hide anything or hold anything back. How difficult does that make it though when you're in a moment of grieving? And I know there are times where you want to be alone, but then I'm also sure that the love that you receive can also help to fuel you to like pushing you to a positive place. But I know it's like a weird balance with that.
It is. I low key, I ain't gonna lie. People ask me how I'm doing. I said I low key feel insane, but hey, I was like, I feel like I'm our emotional roller coaster, but it's like I said, you have to share it. And I always tell myself I would never date anybody in the limelight, especially a rapper, especially one like him. But I was like, I'm also a fan, and I'm also a person that supports who you are before I bring myself to your life. Like, I respect everything that you do, and I'm a fan of everything that you are, and I want you to continue that without changing it for me. But although he did alter a lot of things when I came into the picture, so I did respect that. And I did as well, I was a girl who was like super like tomboy, swaggy, and he told me, he was like, you're super pretty. Like, you're young, you know what I mean? You're natural, show it. Like, don't be scared, don't hide yourself. And it wasn't that I was scared, it was just I was like, all right, I ain't really care too much. I had style and I cared about my style, but I also wasn't one to like just show my body a lot. And then he was like, he told me, give a little, just give a little, not too much. He said, you're a good girl, so you'll be okay. I was like, okay. And I did, and I saw like, the love and the support, and just, I was like, all right, I get it. It's a way to do it. And so it's like we took a lot from each other, gave a lot. My Talibans, we screaming on outside, so it's fun. It's just to see us pull and bring everything together. Watch him create his project while I'm upstairs creating my project. He asks me what I think about this track, and I ask him what he think about my track. So that's kind of how it's been. And even just health-wise and fitness and being able, he lost like 44 pounds. We got to walking, and he told me what he wanted to eat because he eats like a 12-year-old. He wants mac and cheese and fried chicken. And I'm like, all right, we're going to do some lean ground beef and some vegetables, and we're going to do the calorie deficit for both of us. And we did, and it worked. And you know what I mean? But, there's underlying things that I think have to be looked at. And as men in the industry, or black men, period, I know it's hard to stop and take a moment for y'all to be like, all right, let me go just check, make sure I'm good. And didn't do that. And you find out when it's too late. And so that's like one of the biggest lessons I learned. I said, if I was to ever have a child, or even with my big brother, you know what I mean? I'm more of a person who be like, all right, let's just go get a checkup. Let's just make sure we good. You even if you cough, okay, you need to go to the doctor. So that kind of did develop that, but
Unfortunately, so many of us are scared of the doctor. It's like, man, I don't want to go unless I got to. But even me, I'm in that same exact boat. Like, am long overdue, and probably need to set something up after our discussion. You know what I mean? Like,
for real. I'm really, and it is scary too, because then, especially when it's the last time you've seen somebody go to the doctor, that's where they stayed. So then that's the other thing that makes it scary, because it looked like a small issue. And then it turned, because this situation was that. It was, all right, you just dehydrated, or you just, you didn't get no rest. You was on the road a long time. And then it goes into, okay, no, now the heart rate isn't balanced. Okay, all right, now there's a lot of white blood cells. Okay, wait, there's an infection. Oh, wait, no, there's blood clots. So you have all this stuff that the doctors, they're doing all these testing, and you're watching this person get weaker and weaker.
Right.
And so that's the scary part, I will say, with me, with doctors in the hospital, because I'm like, I just want you to be able to come out of there.
Yeah, for sure, sure. All right, so your song "Twerk on Everybody" went viral on TikTok and like has a bunch of videos to that. How does that feel? You know, when you put a song out and next thing you know, your phone's chirping, buzzing, you know what I mean? And you're looking and you're starting to see like this influx of visuals and, people, just all this energy just towards a song. How's that feel?
Oh, it's overwhelming and it feels good, but it is scary because now you're at a point where you're at the mercy of that again. You're like, how can I get that again? When it was organic the first time. So now you're in a mind fuck trying to figure out, well, shit, how can I do that again with the next track? And it isn't authentic anymore because it was natural the first time. And when it did happen, it was unexpected because, first of all, it was another lesson. Like I said, BeatKing always taught me a lot about things, especially if I didn't know much. Like I knew Mr. Hanky, shout out to Mr. Hanky.
Shout out Mr. Hanky.
But he was like, well, do you know what all he's produced? Like, Walk Around the Club, Fuck Here. And I was like, oh shit, I like that song. I remember that. And I was like, they played in the club. I said, but I don't think we'll be fighting today. We'll be twerking. We'll be like twerking around the club. Yeah. And as soon as I did that, his eyes lit up. And he was like, oh my God, go record that. And I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, go record that. So I went upstairs, recorded it. And it was really another freestyle fun thing. I didn't have no thought. And I see why they say those be the ones that go. The ones that don't have that much thought or, you wasn't trying. And that's how that was. And Mr. Hanky reproduced the track, went in and put some melody in there because I'm a singer and I sung on the first verse. And I know everyone don't agree with it, but the original artists of it do. And I shout out to them. And I was like, all right. So we did a little club run. And the DJs, of course, Dallas first, because that's where it's from. Dallas instantly took it and ran with it, showed me love. And then when TikTok happened, that was just random. And I wasn't paying attention. He was, BeatKing was. Okay. He saw it first. He's like, man, your sound going up. Like people are using your song on, on TikTok. He's like, you need to do something to it as well. So I did. And then just so happened in my music video, there are TikTok creators, but they're also from Dallas. So it made sense for us to all work together in the video. Yeah. Shout out to them, Click Full of Stars and Oh Boy the Prince. But we definitely wasn't prepared. And then now, I guess since I dropped the project, it spiked Twerk on Everybody again. Yeah. So there's a new version going on, a new challenge, a new dance. So they took it and they altered it and they put the new, little white, and they put that in there. So I'm like, okay. And they're doing that. And there's some big influencers that's using the video, that's using the sound as well. So I'm like, okay, it's coming back around and it's probably gonna spike again. Yeah. So now I'm like, all right, hopefully that bleeds off into Eat Down.
It's crazy how songs, can just come back to life, and next thing you know, it's like, all right, like this song is like it's new and it's a whole new audience discovering it for whatever reasons, whether it's one type of viral video or, whatever it may be.
It's crazy because a lot of them using it, it's crazy because the video or the dance or whatever they're doing don't necessarily go what the song is talking about. I'm like, this whole song is talking about twerking. Shake your ass on somebody, anybody, everybody, and take shots. No one did any of that. I'm like, all right, cool. Whatever y'all want to do, I don't care. And so they just, and the fact that they like it's Talameshia. That's what started that. Yeah. I was like, okay, everyone loved that part when I say that in my song, so that kind of was the stamp. I was like, from now on, I'm gonna say that, and it also helped people be able to say my name.
Yeah, for
so it's like, y'all, don't be mad at me. My mama did it, and I'm stuck with it. So, and no one has it, so it's Talameshia.
Hey, come on now, one of one.
One of one, right? So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for real. I like to call this the manifestation hour, and I want to just give you an opportunity to manifest like some great things that are gonna be coming up for you, and what you're aspiring to do in your career and in life even.
Oh well, definitely I, of course, want to tour. I want to open up for more big name artists. I want to be able to hit the award shows and actually, get awards, be on stage. I want my social group to turn into more of the music industry, more female artists in the industry as well. I want to collaborate more with musicians. One of my dream collabs is me, Megan, and Beyonce, because we all from Houston, we tall, we like big hair, we lit. I don't know, I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that. I just felt like that would be like my dream collab. I call that, to me, it's like a holy trinity. But if it does happen, that would be great. I would be grateful. But right now, I just say I take one moment at a time, one moment forward is all I can do. But
Absolutely.
that's my goal. Keep dropping music, become a mega superstar, become a pop mega superstar. That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And what else you working on right now? Like, what else you got coming up?
Right now, I'm pushing the records off my EP. I'm also doing more visuals. I'm really big on, I like a visual project, so I'm trying to knock out at least 2 more songs on the project with visuals. And then in the midst of that, recording, because I have not really been recording my own music since everything happened.
Yep.
I was like, I'm not gonna touch a mic. I don't know what's gonna come out. But I feel like after this trip, I'm prepared to go into the booth and just kind of release some music or whatever. So that's the goal, is to prep for what I'm gonna do next with my music. And like I said, I'm a mood person, so I don't know what mood's gonna come. I don't know. I might want to go rock. You never know.
Yeah, hey, come on now.
But right now, just to push E down, to get it everywhere in people's face, get people to use it, get people to enjoy it, get people to tap into me, who I am, my name, my brand, and connect all that together. And then, more traveling. Yeah. That's pretty much it for me right now.
Yeah. Word. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I wanna give you props just for seeing how you've been moving during this time and what you've been going through. And I know it's not easy, and I think that you are being an inspiration for a lot of people and an example for a lot of people in terms of just when you're going through things, when you're grieving, things like that, just how you can kind of rally, like your people around you and use like the things that you love, whether it's creativity or whatever it may be.
Or even just a hug. I'm really big on heart to heart. Like, you hug someone, that energy is transferred, especially if it's positive.
Yeah, when we met, I put my hand out, you pushed my hand out the way. Like, nah, boy, come here, give me a hug.
I was like, give me a hug. No, it's to me, I've learned that that's like very powerful, and I appreciate it every time. It's unique with everybody. And I feel like every time I'm holding back tears, so I'll be like, all right. Yeah. But it releases something and gives me something more positive to hold on to every time. So I think if anything, I would want people to do that. Don't close off, don't be lonely, don't go shut down. You just do it along the way, cry along the way, take a moment, step back. The other day I cried in the morning. Shout out to DJ Era. We was watching church. He was like, I just feel like you need to watch this sermon real quick. But right before you go to your interviews, hurry up. So I watched it, and tears came, and it was a safe space for me to do that. And then I regrouped, went upstairs, did my makeup, and was like, all right, let's go. Yeah. So I hope that people get that, if anything.
No, for sure. And from the outside looking in, you've been handling the grieving process very strong.
Bless you.
Bless you. From the outside looking in, you've been, very strong, like, through this grieving process. Could you, give us any insight on, some of the things that you've been doing early on just to help you through it,
Early on, like through the grieving?
Yes, yeah.
Whew. Well, I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, the first week, I'm not much of a drinker or a weed smoker, but I definitely did that whole first week. And because I'm a strong believer in when I'm high, I can't cry. Because 9 out of 10, I'm super goofy. I'm laughing, I'm dancing, I'm singing. I'm not gonna be in my head thinking and crying or sad. So that's what I did. I didn't abuse it, thank God. But I also had me a small support system, and it wasn't your normal one. I know people will probably go to like their family or Mine was God, and then it was 2 of my close friends were with me the whole time. Like, one of them, she's the owner of Callie's Kitchen in Houston, Texas, a restaurant, and I met her through BeatKing, her and her husband through BeatKing, and he's helped kind of build up their restaurant or whatever, just for like, you know, attention and stuff like that, which they're doing great on their own alone. But she's been there like crazy, like beyond. And she was actually one of the last people to see him too, when I couldn't do it anymore. And then a good friend of mine named Mino, shout out to her. She's been like I would say, find somebody who don't let you stay down. And that's what I did. I was like, Mom, if I go to family, it's gonna be down.
Right.
Oh, baby, you need this. You know, they're gonna baby you. I don't know if it's a me thing, but I don't want to be babied. I don't want to be. Don't let me stay down. Pick me up. And that's because honestly, if you know him, you know that that's actually what he's gonna say and do. He's gonna make jokes and he's gonna be like, "What are you doing? Crying? Don't cry." And so that's kind of what I leaned on. And then I also leaned on how he moved with his mom. When his mom passed, he grieved her the exact way I am. He didn't put any pictures up around the house. He didn't have anything of her around to make him feel down. He just had the lasting memories of her when she was up and when she was happy and alive. And so I was like, that's what I needed to do. And he just kept going. He just never stopped. Like, didn't take a moment. He didn't even go to the funeral. Now, I went to his memorial, and I'm glad I made it through that, barely, but it's different when you don't see the body, you know? Right. So I think that kind of helped, because in my mind, even though I'm not in full disbelief, but I am still in like, it hasn't hit full reality. Gotcha. Because I haven't allowed myself to sit.
You can kind of fake yourself out.
Yeah, and I don't know if, like I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if it works for you, but it's for me. It's just like, in my mind, I'm like, I expect him like right now to walk in with a camera crew and to say, "Got y'all," because that's how crazy he is with, you know, just marketing or just content alone. So, but that's not the case. But that's kind of what I've been holding on to.
All right, and yeah, did you have any shout outs that you wanted to give?
Shout outs, yes. First of all, shout out to my hometown, H-Town, you know, Houston, Texas, always repping Northside. Shout out, I want to give a big shout out to Bun B. He definitely has been supportive and reached out. Everyone who reached out, DJ JQ, 97.9 Fox, 93.7, Kiati, Kelly Cryer, my brand manager. Shout out to Ashley and Oscar at Cali, Houston, Texas. Shout out to Mino. Shout out to my friend Kayla G. I'm shout out to my Talibans. That's my fans. Don't cancel me. They named themselves that. So shout out to them. And shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to y'all for having me. I was worried. I was like, dang, I wonder if I got enough juice to be on here. I don't know, but I'm here. So thank you for having me. Just shout out to everybody that's watching. You're alive, so that's a blessing. Shout out to all the artists that are looking at this, the creatives. Shout out to yourself. And a big shout out to myself. Shout out to my family, my friends. Yeah, people I know and don't know, supporters, haters, all of y'all. But yeah, big shout out to me for sure. Shout out to Lotto for that.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Talameshia, appreciate you pulling up with the great energy and jumping off the porch with us.
Thank you.
Eat down, eat down, eat down.